La presencia del pueblo Co en la vida cultural y social de Vietnam es prueba viva de la fuerza de la identidad. Son una comunidad que, sin hacer ruido, permanece firme, que, sin mostrarse, es profunda. Representan no solo a un grupo étnico, sino a valores humanos duraderos. Amor por la naturaleza, respeto a los antepasados, unidad comunitaria y la firme voluntad de avanzar hacia el futuro. El pueblo Co Ho habita principalmente en la región montañosa de Lâm Đồng, una zona que concentra las características geográficas únicas de las tierras altas centrales, vastos bosques de pinos, amplios valles, arroyos cristalinos, suelos fértiles de basalto y un clima fresco durante todo el año. Estas condiciones naturales han influido profundamente en el estilo de vida, las costumbres y la cosmovisión de los Co Ho. Los habitantes Co Ho suelen vivir agrupados en aldeas ubicadas en los valles, junto a los arroyos o al pie de las montañas. Cada aldea constituye una comunidad unida por lazos de sangre o matrimoniales, y generalmente está liderada por el anciano del pueblo, una figura respetada, conocedora de las costumbres tradicionales y considerada el guardián del alma del pueblo. La vivienda tradicional de los Co Ho es la casa larga, una casa sobre pilotes extendida horizontalmente, donde varias generaciones conviven bajo un mismo techo. Hoy en día, muchas familias han adoptado casas de estilo moderno o a nivel del suelo como las del pueblo Kin, pero en algunos lugares como la comuna Dung No, distrito de Lac Dung, el modelo de casa larga todavía se conserva y es promovido como símbolo cultural. Cada aldea Co Ho posee un bosque sagrado, donde se celebran rituales a los espíritus del bosque, así como un pozo de agua comunal, que no solo sirve para el abastecimiento diario, sino también como lugar de encuentro y comunicación comunitaria. Estos elementos conforman un espacio vital que es tanto material como espiritual, reforzando el vínculo profundo de los Co Ho con su tierra y su entorno. La vida tradicional de los Co Ho siempre ha estado ligada al bosque y la tierra. El bosque les proporciona leña, brotes de bambú, plantas medicinales y animales silvestres. La tierra, en cambio, sirve para cultivar, construir y realizar ceremonias. Su calendario se alinea con los ciclos naturales. Durante la estación seca, desmontan tierras para sembrar. En la época de lluvias cultivan. Y tras la cosecha, celebran juntos la nueva cosecha. Aunque hoy en día cuentan con electricidad, caminos, escuelas e internet, la naturaleza sigue siendo el alma de su existencia, una compañera de vida a la que respetan y protegen. Los Co Ho son considerados los habitantes originarios del altiplano Di Lam Vien, ahora parte de la provincia de Lâm Đồng, uno de los centros económicos, culturales y turísticos de las tierras altas centrales. A diferencia de otros grupos étnicos que llegaron a través de migraciones, los Co Ho han habitado esta región desde tiempos remotos, cuando aún era una selva virgen sin huellas del pueblo King. Las áreas tradicionales de residencia Co Ho incluyen los distritos de Di Linh, Lac Dung, Lam Ha, Dik Trong, Dam Rong, situados a altitudes entre 801 y 500 metros sobre el nivel del mar, zonas cercanas a arroyos, laderas de montañas y valles con agua constante y suelos fértiles, bosques primarios donde conservan áreas sagradas y aprovechan los recursos de forma sostenible.
The Co Ho ethnic group primarily resides in the Central Highlands province of Lâm Đồng region that embodies the distinct geographical features of the Thanh Nguyen Highlands. Endless pine forests, expansive valleys, crystal clear streams, fertile basalt soil, and a year-round temperate climate. These natural conditions have profoundly shaped the Co Ho's way of life, customs, and even their worldview. Coho communities tend to live in villages clustered along valley floors near streams or at the base of mountains. Each village functions as a tight-knit unit, bonded by bloodlines or marital ties, and is typically guided by a village elder or respected figure who understands traditional laws and is regarded as the guardian of the village's spirit. The traditional house of the Coho is the longhouse, a raised stilt dwelling extending horizontally to accommodate multiple generations under one roof. Although many families today have adopted ground-level homes in the style of the Kin majority or with modern designs, the traditional longhouse remains preserved in some areas, such as Dung Kano Commune in Lac Dung district, where it stands as a powerful cultural symbol. Every Coho village includes a sacred forest used for ceremonial offerings to forest spirits and deities, and a bennook, communal water source, not only for daily use, but also as a place for social interaction and community exchange. These elements create a living space that is both physical and spiritual, strengthening the Coho's deep connection to their land, forests, and community. Traditionally, Coho life has been intimately tied to the forest and the land. The forest offers firewood, bamboo shoots, medicinal herbs, and game. The land provides for farming, home building, and ritual grounds. Seasonal rhythms guide their activities: slash and burn farming during the dry season, planting during the rains, celebrating the new harvest together, and hunting in the thinning forests. Even though modern life now includes electricity, roads, schools, and the internet, nature remains at the heart of Coho life, a lifelong companion they continue to honor and protect. The Coho have long been considered the indigenous inhabitants of the Di Lin Lam Vien Plateau, which today forms Lam Dong Provinciano, a center of economic, cultural, and tourist activity in the Central Highlands. Unlike certain ethnic groups that migrated into the region in recent history, the Coho are recognized as original settlers who have lived here for generations, since the time when this land was untouched primary forest, with no presence of kin settlers. Their traditional settlement areas include the districts of Di Lin, Lac Dung, Lamha, Duc Trong, and Dam Rongat, elevations ranging from 800 to 1,500 meters above sea level, riverbanks, foothills, and fertile valleys with reliable water sources, ancient forests, where sacred groves are protected and natural resources are harvested sustainably. What makes the Coho's choice of settlement unique is that it is not based on convenience or proximity to markets, but rather on spiritual resonance and harmony with nature. A typical Coho village is located near a stream ben Nook Thing, or sacred water source, protected by a forest behind and surrounded by rice fields or cultivated land in front, creating a self-contained yet ecologically balanced and community-oriented habitat. The living space of the Coho encompasses more than biological resources: land, water, forest. It is also a spiritual and cultural domain. Every village includes a sacred forest rungthing, a site for ancestral worship and forest ceremonies, a water source ben Nook, a communal space for rituals, interaction, and bonding, fields and swidden farms, where children learn to respect the land and understand their heritage, a longhouse, the dwelling of extended families, symbolizing unity and shelter. In terms of architecture, traditional Coho houses vary between longhouses and stilt houses, depending on the region, but they all share the use of natural materials: wood, bamboo, rattan, and thatch. Homes are built raised off the ground to keep out wild animals and to stay cool in summer, warm in winter. The space below stores, farming tools, and baskets, the raised floor above houses, daily living areas, ancestral altars, and the communal hearth. The fireplace, always burning at the center, acts as the warm heart of the home. Today, urbanization and rural modernization have brought many changes. Houses are now built with brick, topped with corrugated iron roofs, and connected to public utilities like electricity, clean water, and the internet. Yet traditional cultural spaces are still preserved in the smallest details. Traditional brocade dresses hang proudly in homes. Earthen jars of fermented Ru Kun rice wine, are ready for festivals. Bamboo baskets, gongs, and flutes remain by the hearth. Sacred forests and water sources are still protected as inviolable sanctuaries. The climate of the Koho's homeland is cool year-round, with two distinct seasons: the rainy season from May to October, and the dry season from November to April. This natural environment has allowed the Koho to develop a form of shifting agriculture, growing local rice varieties and, more recently, commercial crops like coffee, tea, and durian, while still maintaining a lifestyle in harmony with nature's cycles. Living conditions have improved markedly. Paved roads now connect villages to commune centers. The national electricity grid reaches even remote areas, and there are schools and health clinics. But deep within, the Koho still hold the belief that a living space is more than a place to reside. It is a sacred domain for worship, the preservation of cultural identity, and the spiritual bridge connecting generations. To be born a Koho child is not merely to be a citizen of a commune or province. It is to carry within oneself a sacred bond with the mountains, streams, and the collective soul of the village. For the Koho, their homeland is more than a location. It is a living world where people and nature coexist, respect, nurture, and protect one another like lifelong companions. In the traditional way of life of the Koho people, the family is not merely a place of residence and daily living. It is the first school where individuals learn to cultivate the land, uphold customs, and live harmoniously within the community. The typical Koho family is an extended multi-generational household, especially within longhouses, where 3 to 4 generations live together, sharing property, land, labor, and responsibilities. The Koho follow a matrilineal system, a rare trait among ethnic groups in the Central Highlands. In this system, children take their mother's surname, women hold central roles in family life, and the youngest daughter often inherits the house and assumes the duty of caring for aging parents. Upon marriage, the husband usually moves in with his wife's family, and their children belong to the mother's clan. This structure does not diminish the role of men, but reflects a balanced division of responsibilities between genders. Within the village community, the Koho maintain strong bonds. A sense of unity and mutual support is a foundational element of their social fabric. When a family organizes a wedding, builds a house, harvests rice, or faces hardship, the entire village joins in to help, either through a labor exchange system, doikong, or purely voluntary support. No one is left behind, as the Koho believe that an individual cannot exist apart from the community. Villages also maintain a traditional leadership structure, consisting of village elders and a council of respected elders, functioning as a kind of tribal judiciary. These elders settle disputes, enforce customary laws, oversee rituals, and guide cultural life. The voice of the village elder carries the weight of law, drawn from lived experience and the trust of the people. In Koho society, the family and the village are not separate entities, but two interconnected layers of a unified social structure. Each individual is both a member of the household and a link in the greater chain of the village. This interconnectedness means that Koho people never live alone. They live with, among, and for the collective. The matrilineal family model is a hallmark of Central Highlands culture, and particularly of the Koho. In this system, women are central to all aspects of family life, from managing assets and organizing daily affairs to deciding on marriage and preserving traditions. Unlike the more common patrilineal systems among the kin, Muang or Thai here, children take their mother's family name. Husbands move into the wife's household, matrilocality. The youngest daughter inherits property and takes on ancestor worship duties. Mothers and grandmothers hold significant influence in child rearing, household management, and cultural education. However, matrilineality does not equate to absolute female dominance. Decision-making in Koho households is harmoniously shared between men and women. Men typically handle heavy labor, hunting, land clearing, and construction, while women manage household tasks, childcare, weaving, and marriage arrangements. Rather than establishing hierarchies or dominance, the roles are guided by mutual respect and complementary responsibilities. Traditional Koho families often reside in longhouses, where multiple generations live, eat, sleep, and celebrate rituals together. This dense, intergenerational living creates a warm rhythm of life, where children grow up enveloped in the love of grandparents, parents, and extended relatives. The longhouse is not merely a shelter, it is a living classroom, where customs, language, and core values are passed down. At the next social level is the village community, typically consisting of several dozen to a few hundred people from one or more clans. Villages are not organized solely by geography, but also by kinship and ritual structures. Social cohesion is maintained through the village elder Jalang, a respected elder with wisdom and experience who organizes festivals, mediates disputes, enforces customs, and imparts moral teachings. The Council of Elders, composed of senior men and women who make decisions on cultural practices, land use, and marriage matters. Customary law, Lurtuk, an unwritten code strictly followed, covering marriage regulations, such as bans on consanguineous marriage, forest and land use, ritual conduct, fines, and the protection of sacred water sources and forests. A distinctive aspect of Koho communal life is not just connectedness, but a strong spirit of living for one another. When a household conducts a ritual, wedding, or funeral, the entire village contributes. When someone returns from hunting, the meat is shared. If someone is ill or suffers crop failure, neighbors provide rice, firewood, or medicine. This is not merely charity, but a deeply rooted belief that the community is a single body. When one is hurt, the whole is hurt. Moreover, the Koho highly value honor and integrity. If a member commits a wrongdoing such as theft, violence, or disrespecting spiritual entities, the consequences may extend beyond the individual to their family or clan. They believe that village spirits, Malang, will be angered by disharmony, leading to collective misfortune, poor harvests, illness, or loss of livestock. Today, although the traditional longhouse is increasingly replaced by modern single-family homes and nuclear families are becoming more common, community bonds remain strong. Traditional values are preserved through communal festivals such as new rice celebrations, water source rituals, weddings, and ancestral farewells, Lerbo-ma, village-level self-governance involving elders and clan representatives, youth and women's groups that blend modern life with cultural preservation, community learning circles where elders teach weaving, storytelling, and native language skills. The interplay of tradition and modernity, individualization and communalism, matrilineality and gender harmony has enabled Koho society to remain adaptable, yet deeply rooted in its cultural identity amid a rapidly changing world. Marriage in Koho culture is not simply a union between two individuals. It is a major ceremonial event that connects two clans, two families, and carries deep spiritual significance. Under the matrilineal system, women take a more proactive role in marriage, but the courtship and wedding process remains elaborate and rich with indigenous traditions. When a young couple decides to marry, the bride's family initiates the husband-capturing ceremony, a unique and symbolic ritual. Representatives from the bride's family visit the groom's family to propose the union, negotiate the wedding offerings, and set a date. Traditional offerings may include ruukun, fermented rice wine, pigs, chickens, gongs, or treasured items such as silver bracelets, bamboo flutes, and hand-woven skirts depending on the family's means. A Koho wedding is a large cultural celebration lasting several days. Besides the symbolic wrist-tying ceremony, it includes ancestral blessings, the groom's formal induction into the bride's household, and communal festivities. Villagers gather to eat, dance, drink ruukun, and bless the newlyweds. After the wedding, the groom moves in with the bride's family and becomes a member of her maternal clan. They farm together, raise children, and keep the family traditions alive. While modern times have simplified some rituals or blended them with urban customs, the core values, community, unity, ancestral reverence, and the central role of women remain faithfully preserved. In the cultural worldview of the Koho, marriage is more than a romantic relationship. It is a sacred bond between clans and communities. It is not merely a social formality, but a complex system of cultural and spiritual values that reflects matrilineal roles, ancestral beliefs, communal principles, and generational continuity. Unlike the patrilineal norms dominant in Vietnamese society, the Coho practice matrilineal marriage, with the woman playing the leading role. The image of a bride's family seeking a husband is familiar, beautiful, and meaningful. 1. From love to husband capturing, natural and sincere courtship. Young Coho men and women are free to meet and get to know each other before marriage. They often meet during village festivals, communal farming, foraging, or while dancing around the fire. When a girl falls for a boy, she may express her feelings through subtle gestures, eye contact, kind words, a beaded bracelet, or by inviting him to share rurkan during a celebration. If the affection is mutual, the girl discusses her intentions with her mother. The bride's family, often guided by an experienced matchmaker, will initiate the husband capturing ritual. This important event is as meaningful as the wedding itself, symbolizing mutual respect between both families. 2. Engagement ceremony, sealing the union. The engagement ceremony, known as the proposal ritual, is typically modest but formal. The bride's family brings offerings such as rurkan, boiled chicken, sticky rice cakes, and sometimes more elaborate items like gongs, knives, or hand-woven skirts depending on the agreement. During the event, representatives of both families discuss the wedding date, the number of offerings, and how the event will be organized. The atmosphere is warm and friendly, not overly rigid. Both sides offer prayers to the ancestors as witnesses to the union, followed by shared meals and singing similar to a mini village festival. 3. The wedding, a major communal event. The Coho wedding is not a single ceremony, but a multi-day series of rituals, usually lasting 1 to 3 days, depending on the region and the family's resources. The central rite is the house induction, when the groom officially joins the bride's family. During this ritual, the village elder or ceremonial leader performs wrist tying for the bride and groom, symbolizing spiritual connection and a wish for lifelong unity. Ancestor offering at the bride's altar, inviting the groom into the maternal household with ancestral blessings. A gratitude ceremony to the groom's parents, acknowledging their role in raising him and accepting his transition into the bride's family. Following the rituals is the celebratory portion. Rurkan is shared, swang dances are performed, gongs resound, and the entire village joins the feast. Everyone wears their finest, smiles their brightest, not just to celebrate the couple, but to welcome the formation of a new family within the community. 4. Matrilocal living and enduring bonds. After the wedding, the groom permanently resides in the bride's home, becoming a formal member of her maternal lineage. He works the fields, cares for her parents, joins her clan's rituals, and helps raise children in the matrilineal tradition. The Coho place great value on loyalty and lasting marriage. Though there are no formal contracts, the involvement of both families, ancestral witness, community support, and sacred ceremonies provide strong moral and social bonds. In the case of separation, both families gather to mediate. Divorce is not forbidden but is considered unfortunate. In severe cases, adultery, neglect, abuse, the wrongdoer may face communal punishment or even expulsion from the village. 5. Modern transformations in marriage. Today, many Coho couples opt for modern-style weddings. Wedding photos, bridal gowns, floral cars. Yet deep down, they continue the essential rituals: wrist tying, elder blessings, ancestor incense offerings, flute playing, and zhuang dancing. Some families hold dual weddings, one modern event for urban friends and one traditional celebration for relatives and villagers. This duality reflects the resilience and flexibility of Coho culture, open to modernity, yet never forgetting tradition. The spiritual beliefs of the Coho are a unique blend of animism and ancestor worship. They believe that every stream, mountain, and ancient tree is inhabited by spirits, and that the souls of their ancestors are ever present in daily life offering, protection, or punishment, depending on how their descendants live. The Koho holds several major festivals throughout the year, closely tied to agricultural cycles, life events, and communal milestones. Among the most important is the New Rice Festival, celebrated after the harvest, when the entire village gathers to give thanks to the rice deity, forest spirits, and ancestors for a bountiful season. Offerings are made, including ruokon, fermented rice wine, sticky rice, grilled meat, and the night is filled with zhuang dances and folk songs. Other ceremonies include rituals for sacred water sources, forest offerings, soul calling for the ill, and house blessing ceremonies. Each ritual follows specific customs, led by a ritual specialist, often the village elder or someone believed to be spiritually chosen. While many Koho today follow Catholicism or Protestantism, indigenous spiritual beliefs remain deeply rooted. This is reflected in the continued practice of traditional ceremonies, reverence for nature, and a profound respect for ancestors and lineage. The Koho believe in a three-tiered universe: the world of the gods, the heavens, the human world, the earth, and the world of the dead, the underworld. These realms are not separate but interconnected through dreams, prayers, and rituals. Everything in nature is believed to have a spirit. Forests have forest deities, rivers have water spirits, sacred springs have divine mothers, rice has its soul, fire has its guardian, and each clan is protected by its ancestors. If people live in harmony, honor customs, and respect the land, the spirits will bless them. But if someone breaks taboos, cutting sacred trees, polluting water sources, or neglecting ancestral rituals, disaster may follow: failed crops, illness, floods, or loss of livestock. This belief system means that every major action, building a house, marriage, harvesting, healing, or even entering the forest, requires a ceremony of permission. This worldview cultivates an inner attitude of respect, caution, and gratitude, shaping the Koho's distinct spiritual identity. To the Koho, ancestors are not simply the past, but living presences who watch over and guide the living. Every home, especially longhouses, contains an ancestral altar near the hearth, the most sacred and warmest part of the house. Here, items once used by the ancestors are placed: jars of rice wine, knives, beaded bracelets, wooden figures, woven skirts, ensuring their spirits remain alive in the invisible world. Ancestral offerings are made on many occasions: when building a new house, when children come of age or get married, when illness strikes and healing is sought, especially during the New Rice Festival, when families give thanks for a successful harvest. Lavish offerings are not required. Just a jar of rice wine, a portion of sticky rice, and a boiled chicken are enough. What matters is sincerity and filial devotion. The Koho believe, if you don't offer to the ancestors, they won't return. If they don't return, the home grows cold and restless. Festivals among the Koho are a vibrant combination of sacred rituals and community celebration. Each season brings its own ceremony, aligned with farming cycles and natural events. Forest ceremony, Feb-Mar lunar calendar. Before clearing fields, villagers ask permission from forest spirits. Rice blooming ceremony, prayers for fertile grains and timely rains. New Rice Festival, Novdes, the grandest celebration of the year thanks to rice spirits and ancestors, with feasting, gong performances, zhuang dancing, ruokon, and storytelling through the night. Soul calling ritual, for the ill, believed to be suffering because their soul has wandered. Water source ceremony, cleansing the spring, offering incense, thanking the mother water. Festivals are not solemn affairs, they are full of joy. Communal feasts, singing, storytelling, dancing, bamboo flute playing, and craft competitions. Children learn folk songs, elders recount village histories, women showcase weaving, and young men compete in archery. These events serve as living museums of memory, where culture is revived naturally, without the need for formal preservation. Koho spirituality is rich in sacred symbols and ritual behavior. The hearth, a bridge between generations. It must be respected, no inappropriate gestures, laughter, or sitting in the wrong direction. The gong, considered to have a soul, only played during ceremonies and kept elevated. Rue Khan rice wine, seen as the blood of the land, never spilled or drunk alone. Mother's wedding skirt, kept as a sacred heirloom for daughters. Grandfather's knife, hung from the roof beam, believed to protect the entire household. Every item, no matter how small, is believed to possess a spiritual essence. Using them improperly mixing the sacred and the profane may anger the ancestors. Thus, living among the Koho means living mindfully, with awareness of order, gratitude, and humility. This is not superstition, but a way to cultivate ethics through spirituality. Today, many Koho practice Catholicism or Protestantism have moved away from traditional rituals. Yet, remnants of ancient belief remain deeply woven into daily life. They still burn incense for ancestors, play flutes at weddings, forbid outsiders from bathing in sacred springs, tie sacred threads to children's wrists to ward off evil spirits. For the Koho, death is not an end, but a return to the ancestors, a transition into another realm where the spirit continues to watch over the living. Thus, funerals are not merely moments of sorrowful parting, but also expressions of filial piety, reverence, and a hope that the deceased will find peace and continue to bless their family. When someone passes away, the family informs the entire village. Villagers, especially relatives, come to assist setting up a ceremonial space, preparing offerings, and managing funeral arrangements. The deceased is bathed with water infused with forest leaves, dressed in beautiful clothes, and laid on a bamboo mat inside the house for the soul-sending ritual, a prayer to guide the spirit back to the ancestors. Koho graves are typically earthen mounds, built simply but often topped with a small roof and a spirit house namo. They believe that the dead, like the living, need a home, so the spirit house is built solidly, sometimes adorned with wooden statues, decorative patterns, beaded necklaces, or the deceased's old blankets and mats. 1 year later, the family conducts the grave leaving ceremony, Leirbamathe, the final farewell to the departed. This ritual is profoundly important. It honors the soul, marks the end of mourning, and provides an opportunity for the family and community to gather, drink rulkon, dance shuang, and recount old stories in remembrance. From that point onward, the deceased becomes a full ancestor spirit, honored in annual ancestral worship. Though Koho funerals are often modest, they are deeply spiritual and emotionally complete. These rituals reflect a humane and harmonious philosophy of life, one that respects the elderly, cherishes the departed, and maintains a spiritual bond across generations. For generations, the Koho have lived in deep connection with the forest and the land, two elements that have shaped their unique and sustainable way of life. They are not only skilled Swidden farmers, but also hunters, forest workers, basket weavers, and artisans in textile weaving and traditional musical instrument making. The primary method of cultivation among the Koho is rotational Swidden agriculture, where they grow rice, maize, cassava, and sweet potatoes. They begin clearing fields at the start of the dry season, burn the vegetation just before the rains arrive, and sow seeds according to natural cycles. Instead of using chemical fertilizers or pesticides, they rely on traditional knowledge and close observation of plant growth patterns and climate changes. In addition to farming, the Koho raise livestock such as pigs and chickens mainly for ritual use and daily sustenance. In the forest, they hunt small animals, gather bamboo shoots, dig for tubers, and collect wild honey. These are not just food sources but also act as a kind of survival bank in the heart of the mountains. Many Koho are also skilled in traditional crafts. They make bamboo backpacks, gui, weave baskets, forge knives, craft flutes and gongs, and carve wooden statue items that can be sold to tourists or exchanged for essential goods. Women, in particular, are experts in brocade weaving, using traditional techniques to create textiles not only for ceremonial use, but also as artistic handicrafts of high value. Today, many young koho have entered new professions, including tourism, coffee farming, rubber tapping, and flower cultivation. Though their production methods have diversified, the koho retain the core identity of their labor marked by community spirit, a deep bond with nature, and a hard-working, resilient mindset. The cuisine of the koho people vividly reflects their deep connection with nature, simple, unrefined, yet rich in the flavors of the mountains and forests. A traditional koho meal always includes khom lam bamboo tube rice, grilled fish, wild vegetables, and especially rukon, fermented rice wine, a sacred drink, and a symbol of community bonding. Khom lam is made from sticky rice soaked and cooked inside bamboo tubes over charcoal. The result is a fragrant, subtly sweet dish, often served with sesame salt, grilled meat, or wild bamboo shoots. Rukon is brewed from glutinous rice and forest herbs, fermented in jars, and drunk communally through long bamboo straws featured in nearly every festival, gathering, and wedding. The koho love charcoal-grilled dishes such as stream fish, wild boar, native chicken, frogs, and even wild rats. Meats are marinated with forest salt, native chili, and aromatic leaves before being grilled on bamboo racks. The enticing aroma mixed with wood smoke creates a warm and unmistakable atmosphere. Wild vegetables such as labep, fiddlehead ferns, bamboo shoots, kunao, wild yam, and forest eggplants are typically boiled, stir-fried, or used in soups. Each season brings different edible plants, and koho women are highly skilled foragers, able to distinguish dozens of edible and medicinal varieties. For the koho, food is not just sustenance, it is a vital part of ritual, cultural identity, and ancestral connection. Every dish carries the wisdom of generations and acts as a bridge linking people to nature, ancestors, and the broader community. Music is inseparable from the spiritual life of the koho. Deep in the old forests of the Central Highlands, the sounds of bamboo flutes, bronze gongs, panpipes, and folk songs rise like breath, linking people to the heavens, the earth, their ancestors, and to one another. For the koho, music is not just entertainment. It is a medium of spiritual communication, an emotional expression, and a tool for community cohesion. Gongs hold a sacred place in ceremonies and festivals. While not exclusive to the koho, their gong ensembles and rhythms are uniquely tied to specific purposes: forest worship, new rice celebrations, rain, invoking rituals, weddings, and funerals. Each gong has its own pitch and personality. Skilled players interpret the tones like reading emotions. During festivals, gongs are not merely instruments, they are sacred objects placed in honored positions and often guarded. Bamboo flutes, panpipes, and mouth organs are common in everyday life. Koho youth learn to play these from an early age. They use them to court sweethearts, lull babies to sleep, summon animals in the forest, or express solitude and longing. Love songs passed down through generations are often played on the flute unwritten, preserved only through listening and feeling. Accompanying the music are traditional dances, most notably Sowanga circular dance, symbolizing unity and reverence for deities. Women wear brocade skirts, headscarves, and hold rings, flowers, or baskets as they move rhythmically to the sounds of drums and gongs. Each zhuang dance often tells a story about the origin of a spring, a rice deity, or the love and kinship between people. Beyond music and dance, the koho possess a rich oral folk literature, fairy tales, fables, legends, and epics that embody the community's worldview, moral codes, and cultural values. Stories like The Young Man Who Rode an Eagle to Find the Sacred Spring, or The Girl Who Married the Water Spirit, are passed down by village elders under moonlight beside the fire. Each tale is a life lesson and a cultural emblem stored in the community's collective memory. Though the koho do not have a written script, their folk arts through sound, movement, and storytelling have become a living library, preserving and transmitting ethnic identity across generations. Despite the passage of time, the traditional attire of the koho is a harmonious fusion of nature, skillful craftsmanship, and refined aesthetics shaped by life in the forested highlands. In daily life, their clothing serves practical purposes and adapts to the environment. Yet during festivals, coho garments transform into living works of art, telling stories of the mountains and forests through each thread and pattern. Traditional coho women wear long wraparound skirts paired with short, form-fitting blouses usually in deep indigo, moss green, or black embroidered with colorful motifs. Triangle shapes represent mountains, zigzags symbolize rivers, and dots signify fruit or flowers. These garments are not merely clothing, they are non-verbal expressions of culture. The motifs can reveal a woman's ethnic subgroup, clan, marital status, and village of origin. Coho men traditionally wear loincloths and short shirts, with headscarves. They often carry a small knife, both a practical tool and a symbol of manhood. During festivals, men may wear long-sleeved shirts trimmed with colored thread and simple embroidery, walking barefoot or in woven sandals. Coho brocade weaving is performed on a backstrap loom, a simple yet effective tool that allows the weaver to sit on the floor, using both hands and waist to guide the threads. Each piece of cloth is a personal memory, as no weaver copies another's patterns, and every individual chooses their own color combinations. Weaving is not just labor, it is art, discipline, and cultural pride, teaching patience, beauty, and identity. Beyond weaving, the coho practice several intricate handicrafts, including basketry, crafting gui, bamboo backpacks, baskets, winnowing trays, and grain storage containers from bamboo and rattan, metalwork, forging knives, casting bronze for musical instruments and household tools, wood carving, creating ancestral offering boxes, wooden figures, spirit house statues, and carved house columns, jewelry making, crafting silver bracelets, beaded necklaces, and mountain stone accessories. Most of these crafts are intended for communal use rather than commercial trade, which helps preserve their authenticity and cultural integrity. Each item holds meaning and is deeply rooted in tradition, embodying the soul of the coho people. Today, several coho-run weaving and handicraft cooperatives are gradually reaching wider markets, while also offering training classes for younger generations. These initiatives not only preserve traditional values, but also revitalize them within modern economic and cultural contexts, allowing heritage to flow naturally alongside contemporary life. In traditional coho society, education does not take place in classrooms with blackboards or textbooks. Instead, it happens among the forests and mountains, beside the hearth, in the rice fields, and through the stories told by elders. Coho knowledge is not acquired through writing, but passed down through lived experience, observation, hands-on practice, and a deep love for nature and community. Coho children learn by watching and doing. From an early age, they accompany their parents to the fields, rivers, and forests. They learn to recognize medicinal plants, identify game, select seeds, and read the wind and moon phases to time rice planting. These lessons aren't written in books, they are memorized through emotion, action, and patience. Elders, especially village chiefs, grandmothers, and mothers, serve as the primary teachers. They tell folk tales to lull children to sleep, sing folk songs while weeding, and explain customary laws when a child misbehaves. Stories like How Our Ancestors Found Fire, The Girl Who Became a Spring from Love for Her Mother, or The Hunter's Dream are more than just entertainment. They transmit moral values such as filial piety, unity, diligence, and respect for nature. Beyond life skills, children are taught about rituals, beliefs, and folklore, how to play gongs, blow flutes, perform zhuang dances, weave skirts, and worship ancestors. Every festival becomes a living classroom. Children are assigned tasks like carrying jars of rice, wine, or ritual baskets, and they learn how to sit quietly and observe the prayers of elders, absorbing belief and pride in their heritage over time. Since the early 2000s, national education policies targeting ethnic minorities have enabled more coho children to attend school. Many have gone on to study at vocational colleges and universities. A growing generation of Coho teachers, civil servants, and doctors is emerging, serving as bridges between tradition and modernity. They bring knowledge back to their villages while preserving their mother tongue and the stories their grandmothers once told. In several Coho communities, schools have begun integrating cultural education, organizing brocade festivals, teaching zwang dances, holding folk tale contests in the Coho language, and inviting elders for cultural exchange. These programs help children learn literacy while retaining their language, customs, and identity. However, challenges remain. Poverty, lack of school supplies, and difficult roads still contribute to school dropout rates. Exposure to the outside world also tempts many young people to forget their mother tongue and the stories of the past. Therefore, education in Coho communities today must be a hybrid approach, blending formal schooling with traditional cultural spaces, where classrooms are not confined to school buildings, but found on every step up the hillside fields, by every evening hearth, and in the hearts of children who know who they are. Like many other indigenous ethnic groups, the Coho today are facing profound changes in the modern era. On one hand, there is a strong desire for progress, access to electricity, roads, education, and economic development. On the other hand, traditional values are at risk. The mother tongue is increasingly replaced by the national language. Fewer children can play traditional flutes. Adults rarely perform forest rituals. Stilt houses give way to concrete homes, and weaving looms are folded away. The influx of urban lifestyles, social media, and modern entertainment has drawn many young people toward the new, sometimes at the cost of their roots. Some no longer speak the Coho language, feel ashamed of their ethnic identity, avoid wearing traditional clothing, cannot play the gong, or remember their ancestral stories. These are warning signs of a cultural rupture unless preservation efforts are made. However, amid these tides of change, many Coho are actively working to preserve their heritage. Elder artisans continue to teach flute playing, weaving, and storytelling. Young Coho teachers introduce zwang dancing into school programs. Community projects, in collaboration with local governments and cultural organizations, have launched traditional education classes, recorded and digitized festivals and folktales. Emerging community-based tourism villages in areas like Lot Commune and Dam Rong District allow visitors to experience Coho culture firsthand, from meals and music to daily living. The future path of the Coho should rest on three main pillars: preserving forests and land, as nature is the living space, the source of sustenance and the spiritual soul of Coho culture; bilingual and bicultural education, enabling younger generations to integrate with modern life while retaining language, customs, festivals, and ethnic pride; culture-linked economy, developing community tourism, handicrafts, and ecological agriculture as ways to live with culture, not merely preserve it as relic. Though the future presents many challenges, a powerful sense of hope endures in the hearts of the Coho. As long as stories are told, flutes are played, fabrics are woven, and people live in harmony with the forest, their identity will not disappear. It is simply donning a new form to walk alongside the times. The Coho, with their longhouses nestled in the forest, ancient stories told by firelight, and heartfelt zwang dances, are a living symbol of a community bound to nature, steadfast in identity, and steadily moving forward on the path of development. Their culture simple yet profound, rustic yet elegantous, not merely their own heritage, but a shared treasure of Vietnam's ethnic tapestry, worthy of respect, preservation, and celebration.